We are back on the 110, and since I last saw you, I've had an idea, and it's going to make things a lot more interesting. So in 2019, all my friends thought I was having an early midlife crisis. I sold my motorbikes, sold my car, to buy a van, travelling around in and keeping in the back of. I had the idea of going to the Orkney Islands north of Scotland, and I told a girl from work, who said she'd come with me. So we went, up the M6, east to Edinburgh, round the east coast, through John O'Groats, and to a place that sounds like it should be on Abe's Odyssey, Scrabster, the ferry port. And what was the reason we went to Orkney Islands? Well, have a look at this place and tell me you wouldn't go for a laugh. 7 years later, we've got 2 kids, a house, a dog, and no time. So, this summer, I want to have the Land Rover ready to surprise Kate. The game is, whatever condition it's in, as long as it's safe, we go again. In the last video, we was replacing the front doors on this due to multiple factors. They were rotten, had no glass, and the internal mechanism didn't work. So we decided we'd replace them. When we took the bolts out, we had to drill them because they'd all seized, and when they did that, obviously, it ruined the brackets on the inside. We did have a spare mounting kit somewhere, but God knows where it's gone. So we put these in temporarily, put the door on, just to keep the rain out, and I've ordered a full new kit, and I've ordered new hinges as well for a better closing action. So we're just going to quickly get that done, and we'll move on to the job we're actually doing today. We're going to start by removing the door card, so I can get inside the door and take the bolts out for the bottom hinge. So 14 door card screws later, I used an 8mm socket to remove the window winder mechanism, slid out the collets for the door release, and then disconnected the door lock before lifting the card and removing. I still can't get over the quality of these doors. I'm going to have to do something to protect them from the weather. What causes these doors to rot? Leaves, other debris, gets through your window sills, down this track, and into the trough at the bottom. If it blocks these holes up, your door can't drain, and any water that gets in there will pool up and rot your doors. Keep them clean. Every now and again, take your door cards off and have a look. But I'm going to protect this with some cavity wax. So in this bag we've got like an assortment of nuts, bolts, washers. And so we've got these clips that we were missing on the last one, which are loads better, because in the last one with the squares. So this is the difference between the old kit, the old style ones, which are crap because if for whatever reason the bolt goes in a bit askew, if the whole block will just come loose, it'll bend the brackets, and it'll just spin inside the door. Inside the bulkhead, whereas this, no chance of that. Brilliant, better. These are really easy to fit. You position them and then slide them into place. Just be careful you don't drop them into the bulkhead, otherwise you're likely not going to get them back. So I don't know which bolts for what, because if you see these, they're ridiculous. Like these go through the hinge and through the door nicely to get a nut on the inside. It'd be nice and flush. But these, I don't know what these are for. Look at the difference. Right, so these really long bolts go in these hinges on the second row doors, and if you look inside, you can see the plates. You can see the plates there, and the bolts coming out on the inside of the vehicle. So that is quite a long bolt. I'm assuming we'll have to trim that down anyway, so we'll do that when it comes to it. But that answers that question. So we're going to go with him on there, the small bolts, smallest ones. Then we're going to go with some of those. I don't think there was anything between the door and the thing. It turns out that they do go between the door and the hinge. I just misplaced the bag and I'd never seen it before, but it's okay because these doors are going to be coming off again anyway, eventually. So that's how we're going to set it up. 2 medium bolts, 2 small bolts, and the large bolts are for the middle doors. I've just noticed as well on the bolt, or the screw, there is an O-ring. I'm not 100% sure why, but we'll be putting it back in. Looking back, I think this is for anti-vibration to stop the screw from falling out and the wing mirror falling off. Makes sense. It's a rinse and repeat method on all the other doors, so I won't bore you with it. Let's just get on with it. Like a weird gap here. Could be these. Would be worth looking at. So we can try and do this with one hand. That's how much play is in that one hinge. So if you do that over 2 hinges, your door's just going to drop. And that, I suppose, that is the kind of taper you'd get on your door because it's relevant. So if you've got like a rusty door like this, it's literally just being held on by that piece at the back, so it's just a fascia. So if you do that, I don't know if you can see it because I'm wobbling. So this half of the door is staying stationary, and this half's moving. So if you try and shut your door or anything like that, then also at the top you could have a rust across here, which means again it flexes on this point here. So hopefully tomorrow, I'm hoping my dad's up, he can give us a hand with taking these doors off, and tomorrow when he's here I'll make a new bit for this, and we'll weld it all back in. Hopefully that'll be one door done. Say his name and he shall appear. Them's the new door bottoms. Get them for, what was it, 60 quid, no, 150 quid a side. This is check strap, and this bracket doesn't come on the new part, so we'll have to transfer that over, so that's a bit of welding. So when the rain comes through your window seals at the top and down the side of your window, it's going to come through the bottom into your door channel, and usually it drips out these drip loops here, and there's no holes in the base. However, when they design this, they've put holes all the way across it, which makes me think that the rainwater is going to come inside the footwells. So I feel like the small holes are for something like this, but I can only find them for the front doors. I don't know if you can get them for the middle row doors. If you know, let us know in the comments. And leave the drain one open, maybe open another one here. Like that one. You wet carpets? You wet right.
Never satisfied.
Right.
Don't matter.
It does.
No, don't.
But it does.
No, don't.
And the door card mounts to the outside. Why is the door card holes on the bottom there? I think we block all them up.
Ventilation.
Yeah, for your feet. Neither of us have ever done this before, so we think if we just, oh shit, that's just peeled itself off. If we just gently, I might just warm this up with a blowtorch and then just tease it out with a big screwdriver. That's what we did. If you're looking at this and doing it yourself, don't get it too hot because it's very soft. You just need to warm it up so it doesn't snap, and that's all you're doing. It seems to be okay, and just try and keep it as straight as possible without, curving the bottom of the door. Just going to do the same on this side. I've just scribed where that sits, so we can cut this side of the line, and then hopefully it'll just nicely sit up against it. So just going to get these folded out, and then cut it out. We took as much rust out the ribs skeleton thing as you can, and we found that the panel's full of filler, so we've tried straightening a bit of that out. But we can always sort that out when the skin's back in it, when the ribs are back in. So what we're going to do now, the check strap for this rear door doesn't come on this one, so we're going to just cut this off and transplant it onto this. So the check strap carrier's off. I've ground it all down. I'm just going to weld through primer it, and then we're going to weld it onto that. So since doing this, I found out you can buy these check straps, but they cost between 80 and 90 quid. Might as well just reuse what we've got. We're going to panel bond these when we refit the bottom half. It's good practice just to clean them all down so it's got a good clean surface to fit to. This isn't OEM, but because we've had the door skins off, we don't want a baggy door skin at the bottom. After all, no man wants a baggy door skin. We had to work quick with this because that bonding's going off while we're doing the welding. So around about now is where you'd usually put a nice welding montage. Those really satisfying welding bits. This ain't one of them. when something's had rust inside it, it eats away unevenly. So you'll end up with like really thin bits of metal and then really thick bits. So you'll weld and then you'll get a hole in it. Then you'll weld a bit more, then you'll put another hole in it. The trick is just to chill out, stack the weld up and then give it a good going over thereafter. It's practice. Believe it or not, that went quite well. We managed to weld it together. Unfortunately, the other side isn't so good. So this is the next day, after doing that other door with my dad. You'll see in this video that I had to be quick with this, because the weather wasn't on my side. This is where it got a little bit tricky. On the other door I said be patient, stack the weld. This door it wasn't happening. The more you welded, the more it receded. So I ended up plating it. But I didn't have the plating I required. Until I looked in the scrap pile and then I found out I had a lot of it. But you won't see it when the door card's on anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Just doesn't look great. Once I finished welding and grinding the bottom half of the door, I heated it up with a blowtorch before giving it a coat of weld-through primer. I am going to spray this vehicle inside and out, but I don't know when it will be. So I need to make sure I protect any work I do now for the future. Like on the last door, we used a really simple wooden clamp to hold the skin and ribs together while the bonding cured. While that's happening, I folded in the edges and then began work on the top half. It was at this point I realised that I have got some metal in the scrap pile in the garage, in the form of an old footwell that I used parts of, but not the whole thing. So I'm chopping pieces out of that to make this door good. The eagle-eyed viewers out there will notice that I've put a sheet of steel over the glass. This is because when you're welding, the sparks that are emitted from the welder will stick in any glass it lands on. This goes from watch faces, phones, to even your windscreens or door screens in this case. If you've watched from the beginning, you'll notice that we've had all 3 weather patterns in 2 days because we filmed these over the weekends. If you could do us a massive favour by liking, commenting or subscribing, it's just a click of the button below and it costs you nothing. It would be massively appreciated, and who knows where this might take us. We could even get a unit. Or maybe even afford a massive tarp to cover the entire driveway. Joking aside though, everything from a like, a comment, a subscribe, even a view means the world to us, so thank you, it's massively appreciated. If you compare this repair to a normal door, it looks quite OEM. And it's not bad at all to say it's made from scrap metal. Because of the weather, I didn't film an outro for this video, so join us next time. Thanks for watching, see ya. What's last think?
I think we should leave it as it is.
What, and get wet feet?
Yeah.
If I could only see